not that song.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 1249, and my friend, this is the last Mike's Daily Podcast of 2016. The last one. Yes, I'm not going to do it. I might do one on... No, Monday will be 2017, so yeah, this is it. Wow. What a crappy year this was. Huh.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
I have to tell you, though, 2013 was probably the crappiest year, most recent crappiest year for me, so I can't...
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Really compare the two, although 2014 had its moments where I wish that it would go and eat up my opponent like a alligator would eat my enemy. That's what I wish every day to all my frenemies, that an alligator eats them. No, I don't do that. That would be mean.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
I just lost my voice for a second. Thank you so much for bearing with me at the beginning of this show.
Mike's
It's a rocky start.
Daily
Ba-dum-bum.
Podcast.
Ba-dum-bum.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da-da-da. Rocky, get it? But yeah, 2016, we lost some. Well, the first shock was David Bowie dying. To me, that was what? You mean 80s icons can die? Yeah, we had the Whitney Houston and the Michael Jackson, but those were strange drug-related circumstances. Now David Bowie dies. What? Glenn Frey, he had some kind of stomach issue and he died. Prince died of a drug thing. George Michael, heart attack, but that may have been drug-related in his past with all the partying. And then Carrie Fisher, not a singer, but she dated she was married to Paul Simon, who had some hits in the 80s. You Can Call Me Al. I just think 2006, and then of course Hillary losing the election, Trump winning the election. Have you been able to adapt to that yet? Have you been able to square that in your brain that Trump's going to be president? This has been, supposedly, the past couple of months have been the time to help ease us into that thinking. I don't know about you. It's still kind of a strange thought process to me.
Because you'd be in jail.
If I don't think that you should be president? Oh, that's scary. Look who just walked in. Hello, Michael Master. It's Madame Rootabega and happy last podcast of 2016. Yes, the last one. We did a lot of... We had a couple of big anniversaries in 2016. I think this was the year we went over 1,000, didn't we? And then it's all the 1,000 episodes. We broke the 1,000 episode mark. We've been podcasting for over 5 years now. So we're over half a decade old. And in a couple of years, I'll be half a century old, as I was talking about the last podcast. Yeah. Some groundbreaking moments happened in 2016. Michael Matthew, you didn't do your music review thingy. Ooh. You know what 2016 was not a year of? It was not a year of music interviews. If you go to mikesdailypodcast.com and look at the interviews I did from 2011 to 2015. Oh, look who else just walked in. I did a lot of interviews, but this year, not really. I just got sick of it. I got sick of, there are these record promoters, and you know what? More power to them. These independent record promoters that are promoting their little bands and stuff, that's great. But send me stuff that's good. Send me stuff where the vocalist is actually on key. Yeah. Where the vocalist sings a little bit better than I do at the beginning of my shows. For gosh sakes. I was getting, and then some people were sending me, I was nice in the early days. I'd have some of these people on that weren't the best singers, but I was thinking, you know what? I'll throw them a bone. I hate that expression. Because I don't give my dog bones because he gets sick. They say that the little pieces of the bone get stuck in their intestines and causes them issues. Sorry, Basil, no bones. You get the fake bones that clean your teeth from Costco, the dog treats, that also have things for your joints. Chondroitin. But I was not happy with what I was getting. And then the people that I did have on, the interviews I did have on in 2016, were people that were really interesting. Like my friends Bob in Georgia, they ran into these bluegrass, Americana alt country type singers, folk singers, that Henry River Honey. They were fantastic. It was great to have them on and discover their music. I had some people that I've had on before they're just phenomenal. Kai Alfred Hillig, he can be on the show whenever he wants. He's just so... I wake up to his latest album all the time. It wakes me... I listened to like 2 songs this morning, helped me get out of bed, and he just did a great album. Very talented guy. And there was a couple others, but it was very, very small this year, the list of people I interviewed, musicians. And next year will be more of the same. That's 2016. So I decided, no, I'm not going to... I would review at the end of the year. My podcast would feature a bunch of songs from the bands that I had, and then I'd come up with some name, like 2015 was... I came up with 2015 Nifty Radio, 2014 For The Radio. Not the best names. But then I would post the podcast...
And here's today's podcast picture.
And then all of a sudden the podcast picture would pop up. No, I'd post the podcast with the songs, and I'd get dinged by YouTube. And it'd be like, oh, all that work for nothing. And so, I'd have to take the podcast down. And the podcast picture is a podcast picture with me and someone who walked in with the other people that just walked in. Hi, I'm back. It's Benita the Rodeo Queen. I was on the last show.
It's Valentino, the parking attendant.
And it's Bison Bentley. Do you know that? What? Wait. Hey, Benita. Hi, Mark. Yeah, the drawing is of me and Benita. What's wrong, Valentino?
Hey, Mike, it's the end of the year, and I kind of miss the days of early 2016 when it was Obama, and it was a bunch of presidential debates. That was some fun times day.
Yeah, Mike, fun. We're gonna make a Ted Patty. Do you know that? Yeah, you guys are gonna do a third party because you almost thought Chris Christie was gonna win this year, huh?
Yeah, he was in those debates day.
Yeah, Ted Patty. Do you know that? Well, maybe you guys will be successful with your third party. We'll have to see in 2017. 2016 was the year that I realized that there's, not too many years left of my 40s. And that's about it. It's not that exciting of a year, 2016. Wow. We lost a bunch of important people, and, I did the podcast. That was fun. And I got to interview a lot of interesting people that had never been on the podcast. That was good. And I got some new podcast listeners. If you're a new podcast listener, thank you for listening. We welcome you. And I hope you don't get tired of the podcast like John did. I don't know if John got tired of it or not, my next door neighbor. John, if you're listening, I almost took your bike. He put his bike out in front of his house for the trash people to pick it up. And I saw it this morning at 4 o'clock in the morning, and as I was leaving for work, and I said, no. I just do not have the patience for bikes. I cannot figure out how to put the inner tube in if I blow a tire. And I constantly am getting flat tires because I'm a heavy guy. It's not like I'm tremendously overweight, but it's just that I'm not light. I'm tall already, and that makes me heavier just by my sheer mass of height and whatnot. I have more molecules. So that's why I did not take your bike, John. I hope someone takes that bike and it doesn't get thrown into the trash, into the dump, because that's where it's going to go if no one takes the bike. It's sitting there on the curb ready for the trash man to come take it. And John also had a potted tree. It looked like a potted tree, but then as I got closer to it, as I was driving past it, I said, hey, wait a minute. That's one of those fake trees. And I can't do fake trees. It's got to be a live plant. And I guess John can't do fake trees either. That's why he put it on the curb for the trash to pick up. So hopefully those two items will find a new home. But in other news, Mike'sDailyPodcast.com is a wonderful place to go to help out the show if you want to help out this show. And you're going to buy anything on Amazon, any of the year-end deals or whatever, click on that Amazon link. That helps us out. There's also PayPal. You can help us out that way. You'll get a special greeting from all the Cafe Anyway characters. There's the past podcast pictures, past interviews. And like I have mentioned in past podcasts recently, Irene Pena is going to be on. She's been on the show before. And I'm looking forward to having her on. Maybe we'll discuss Toto. I've been on such a Toto kick. On one of my days off during the holidays, I stayed up till midnight watching Toto videos. Not just music videos. You know, Toto did that, gonna take a lot to take me away from you. I miss the rains down in Africa. They did that in a couple other songs. They had that Hold the Line. Love isn't always on time. And it's just funny because the old videos, everybody's got the big foofy Afro 70s white man Afro hairs cuts, which Jimmy Fallon did a parody of, did a spoof of recently with Paul Rudd and some of the members of Jimmy Fallon's comedy team, of his comedy writers. They did that. Oh, so funny. Check that out on YouTube. But yeah, I was looking, one of the singers Toto had, they always hired new people to do the high screaming parts of the songs. Like Hold the Line, that guy singing with the high, he could totally hit these high notes. That's Bobby Kimball. He was out of the band for a while. And then there was a guy named Jonathan Williams, who's the son of John Williams, the composer, who did Star Wars. Like I have to sing you the Star Wars theme. And Jonathan Williams, I saw some interviews. I was watching interviews of him and cell phone recorded video of him singing songs. And he seems like a nice guy. He's teaching music at some college. It looked like he didn't age very well. I think he's around my age, and he kind of looks like he may have destroyed his teeth. I don't know. But he still, when he was singing a recent concert, he sounded the same. Sounded good. And he still got that, he loves playing the Toto stuff. I don't know why I got into a Toto thing there. And I don't know why I got into a Gilmore Girls thing. I was also watching all the Gilmore Girls on Netflix. I have to tell you, the fact that Melissa McCarthy came back to reprise her role as Suki made me so happy. I did not expect that. I had heard that she was not going to do that because she's so big now. She makes so much money and she's done movies and the horrible Mike and Molly show. And she was on the Gilmore Girls reunion, the 4 episodes they did, Year in the Life, on Netflix, and it was great to have her back, even though what she was saying wasn't very funny, kind of like me right now. But it was great to have her back as they got basically everyone to come back for Gilmore Girls, which I had to watch every episode because I was married, and my wife got me into it, and I said, are we gonna watch Gilmore Girls tonight? Yeah, calm down, smooth your roll. No, she didn't say that. But I said, okay, and we would watch Gilmore Girls every single night. And that's why I was happy to see the reunion. I guess no one else cares. It did end on a cliffhanger, though, a tiny little cliffhanger. That was exciting. I have to say, though, the plot was pretty bad. Not very good. It just sort of... But the writing was pretty funny. And Carole King shows up. Because the earth moves under her feet, and she sings a little bit of that song. Now we'll get to the new segment. I'm debuting a new segment. Did I mention that? Oh, I buried the lead. Yes, a new segment on today's show. It's called A Fine Article.
A fine article.
You silly, great, fat article.
Article.
I'm going to totally butcher this guy's name because his name needs to be butchered. Milo Yiannopoulos. has parlayed his ban from Twitter and some controversial appearances on college campuses and a cable TV show into a $250,000 book deal. And the Hollywood Reporter learned this yesterday. They said banning me from Twitter would finish me off, just as I predicted. The opposite has happened, he said. Stupid Threshold editions, an imprint of Simon & Schuster, gave him the deal. Idiots. Did it hurt Madonna being banned from MTV in the 1990s? Did all that negative press hurt Donald Trump's chances of winning the election? He asked, rhetorically. Yiannopoulos, a hero of the so-called alt-right, he says he doesn't consider his political positions as alt-right, was famously banned from Twitter. Do you know who Leslie Jones is? She's on Saturday Night Live, which I haven't really watched that much this season, even though it's been fantastic. The little clips I've seen of Alec Baldwin doing Donald Trump. And what's with it that to get really good impressions now, Saturday Night Live has to go outside of their cast, except for Kate McKinnon, who's just brilliant in everyone she does. She does, of course, Hillary Clinton. And who was the Australian rapper? Not Aini Kamosi. Oh, crap. That's the guy from the 90s. Iggy Azalea. God, I'm old. What did Aini Kamosi do? He had that weird... Aini Kamosi. That's it. It's too... Oh, it's... Aini Kamosi, a Jamaican reggae artist who began his career in the early 80s and returned to prominence in 94 with his signature song, Here Comes the Hot Stepper. Thank you. Gosh, took me a long time to get there. Thank you, Bing. Oh, hey, something that happened in 2016 is I used Bing a lot, and that meant a lot of that helped me out on Amazon. That gave me a lot. You can transfer those points to money on Amazon. Free plug to Bing, but hey, that was cool. I don't know how long they're going to keep doing that. So this idiot from Breitbart, he made fun of I'm just throwing out prepositions. Do you like that? Hey, I realized that a lot of people in 2016 had babies. A lot of my friends had babies. A lot of my friends got pregnant and are going to have babies in 2017. And good for them. In fact, I talked to someone when I walk my dog. I run into her now and then. She last night, her dog, I don't know her name. Her dog's name is Xena, like Xena, warrior princess. And Xena is this cute German shepherd. And she said to me she was pregnant as I ran into her last night. I mean, I didn't run into her because that'd be bad to run into a pregnant woman. But she would, very bad indeed. But she is pregnant, and I wished her congratulations. She doesn't know the gender of the baby yet. And that's fine. That's exciting. A lot of girls were born. Everyone that I know that had a baby in 2016 had a girl. So, what does that mean? The women will rule the world. Welcome to our new Amazon planet. Move over, Jeff Bezos, and your huge floating flotilla up in the sky, releasing your drones. We're just taking the name and renaming the planet the Amazon planet. Drones flying by. So, Yiannopoulos, hey, that sounds Greek to me. Greek to me, a hero of the so-called alt-right, was famously banned from Twitter after engaging in an online spat with Leslie Jones. Some of his followers were accused of bullying the Ghostbusters actress with racist and sexist tweets. So, Yiannopoulos, the autographical book is his first, and he is as this article says, the Hollywood Reporter says, a flamboyant and gay conservative. And he has a wide following for his writing, especially at Breitbart News, where he is an editor. He said, I met with top execs at Simon & Schuster earlier in the year and spent half an hour trying to shock them with lewd jokes and outrageous opinions. I thought they were going to have me escorted from the building, but instead they offered me a wheelbarrow full of money. Yeah. Well, if your book crashes and burns, you won't get that wheelbarrow ever again. So you better invest that in a good portfolio. He's also filming his dangerous EFT tour of college campuses for a feature-length documentary film. Hey, if you're a college student and you're going to see one of his shows, why are you wasting your time? You're a college student. Go do fun things as a college student. Dance. I'm not saying do drugs, but dance and learn things is what I'm telling you. And get a job on your college radio station. Even if you're not going to get into radio, do it, because you will always tell your friends about it. You'll always talk about the days you were on college radio and you got to play whatever you wanted. Every line of attack the forces of political correctness try on me fails pathetically. Oh, political correctness. You know what that is? That's just made up in your mind. It's called being nice in our ever-shrinking world. Being nice to other people. Being empathetic, even though he says, it's like he uses that word pathetically, but maybe he should be empathetic, is what I'm saying. I turned it around. I'm more powerful, more influential, and more fabulous than ever before, said Yiannopoulos. And this book is the moment Milo goes mainstream. Social justice warriors should be scared, very scared. I am not. You know what? I'm going outside of Cafe Anyway. We're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcaster Valley. That's it. 2016's done. I look forward to 2017. I want good things to happen this year. I would like for no more 80s icons to die. Cyndi Lauper, please stay alive. Madonna. Steve Perry. Hey, Steve Perry's alive, and he got the Journey back together. They actually performed, so that's some good news. Have a happy, happy new year. Be safe. I'm going to go over to Haley's house and party with Haley. I can't wait to tell you all about that. And I'm also going to interview Irene Pena. We'll have that in the new year. I'm looking forward to it. You're awesome. Thank you for listening to the podcast this year. Go and get John's bike. Happy New Year!
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!
Next show, Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, John Deere the Engineer. 2017. Well, she was just 17. You know what I mean, right? Happy New Year.